Humans are addicted to sitting. We sit even though we know that sitting kills. We sit at the breakfast table, we sit in the car, we sit at the office, we sit in front of our laptop computers. One scientific research showed that those who sit 11 hours or more per day have a 40% higher risk of dying in the next 3 years than people who sit 4 hours or less. So now you may wonder why you're sitting. In fact, why are all of you sitting? Even though some of you already knew that sitting too much is very unhealthy. You are sitting because this entire environment here is structured around being seated. In fact, our entire society is structured around being seated. Restaurants, schools, movie theaters, public transport, cars, all filled with chairs that suck us in. In public transport, one even feels unlucky if one doesn't have a place to sit. And we use standing as a punishment for children. We make them stand in the corner. So from early on we learn that there's something wrong with standing. Now, I'm a philosopher of embodied cognitive science, and one of the main findings in my field of research is that it is not explicit thoughts or explicit intentions that drive our actions in everyday life, but affordances. Now, this is a technical term, and it is very simple. It basically means the possibilities for action provided to us by the environment. So the floor affords walking, a pen, like this one, affords writing, and the chair affords sitting and moving, but also leaning. So the affordances available in our surroundings structure what we do. In fact, when we encounter affordances, they get us ready to act on them. This bodily action readiness is why chairs can suck us in. If we radically restructure the affordances available in a certain place, we would generate behavioral change. What would our world look like if we would do away with chairs and standing becomes the new norm? We, that is visual artist Barbara Visser and RAAAF, have started experimenting on affordances that support standing in different ways, including supported leaning and hanging. The aim of these investigations was to find out what the office of the future would look like, the office of 2025. Now, I'm showing you these images to show you that we had a lot of fun while experimenting with affordances, but also because it was important to find out what feels good in this world without chairs, and how the environment could support us working in different ways, in unconventional ways, so to discover unconventional affordances. Now, the chair has been reinvented over and over, thousands and thousands of times, but supported standing still has to be discovered. So if you're looking for a vocation, start researching supported standing. It is still in its early stages of discovery, and it's really exciting to find out that standing can be as comfortable as sitting, if you support it well. These are some of the prototypes that we built, and basically these are the best results of what we found in our explorations, and these best positions we found all come together in an art installation, which is titled, and you see it here, the art installation. It is titled The End of Sitting. This is a provocative title. The End of Sitting is basically a landscape of standing affordances. Of the two positions you see here, the one on the right is similar to a conventional standing desk, but the one on the left is much smarter than that. It supports your back. Unlike a traditional standing desk, it supports your back, and it provides tilted support for your feet. The guy is actually standing there. You may not see it well, but he's standing. Now, It is comfortable, but not too comfortable, and that is important. Because it keeps your legs active all the time, and your legs is your biggest muscle group. Keeping them activated keeps your heart working, keeps your blood flowing, so it's really important to keep using these muscles in your leg. Now, after about 30 minutes or an hour, your legs will get tired, and you will switch to one of the many other positions in the landscape. Perhaps laying down a bit, or hanging like this. There's all sorts of possibilities offered there. And what is important is that it is an entire landscape, because this landscape supports the alternation from position to position in order to keep moving, so that you don't get stuck in one position typing all day, which would be very unhealthy as well. It's important to change. Now, what you see here is not the final version of the end of sitting landscape. This is just the start of a long experimental trial phase up to 2025. We will continue experimenting and make it more inclusive over time, also for elderly and people with disabilities. Moreover, research by the University of Groningen is investigating how people use and experience this landscape. Do they become more energetic? What does it mean for their well-being? That kind of questions are asked in the scientific studies done by these researchers. And generating this kind of scientific research is crucial for us to be able to improve the landscape of standing affordances. In fact, this project integrates many different disciplines. It integrates insights from visual arts, from architecture, from empirical sciences like human movement sciences, public health, and from philosophy as well. So now that you are aware of the fact that it is affordances that drive our everyday behavior, you can start changing the material structure of the different places in which you spend your life. Replace affordances that trigger unwanted, unhealthy, or counterproductive activities with new ones. In fact, replacing old affordances with new ones also provides a way of thinking about scaffolding change in our society and in other domains of society. Discovering unconventional affordances that can support us and that can provide new possibilities for action and provide change in existing practices is creativity in action. And using this kind of creativity, we can make the transition from our sitting society to a society that is more active and healthy.